All right, and so on deck, we got another middleweight bout here. On one end, we got Rodolfo Viera, another dope name right there, and he's taking on Anthony Hernandez. So, this fight actually got me really excited when diving into it because these guys have such elite grappling skills, man. It's actually fucking insane, man. And so, you look through Rodolfo and it's win via submission, win via submission, win via submission. It's like, this is really elite stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing this, in next Saturday. So, he comes in with a 7-0 record. He made his UFC debut back in March of 2020, where, surprise, surprise, he submitted Saparbek Safarov in that one with an arm triangle choke. And then, I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to utilize those skills against Hernandez, who's no joke in the submission game either. He comes in with a 7-2 record. He's 1-2 in the UFC. He does have a win against Jun Young Park, but he has losses against Marcus Perez and Kevin Holland most recently, who we've touched on a few times. I do believe Marcus Perez was cut from the UFC yesterday. Is that correct? Yeah. So, the latest fight was against Kevin Holland, actual beast in that one. But, he didn't even last 30 seconds, I believe, in that one. That was some of Kevin Holland's finer work. So I'm curious to see, which grappler here kind of gets the upper hand here. What do you got for us?
Okay. So, what's amazing about this fight, Pies, is that I think that it's the official day where we learn about, like, those, like the Ronaldo. Remember how people used to talk about Damian Maia and Ronaldo Souza? And, like, there's, like, this big difference in, like, the MMA grapplers, but then these, like, legendary jiu-jitsu grapplers who come in with these. So that's that's kind of who we're talking about with Rodolfo versus Anthony Hernandez. So, like, Anthony Hernandez has shown really good wrestling and his ability to kind of incorporate those skills with the submission work, because even in that win against Park, I felt like he was kind of back against the wall, literally, and was able to pull off a really suave submission. But when we're talking about grappling, jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu, this is who we're talking about. The jiu-jitsu. It's this guy. So he's going to bring, like, he's got records galore, right? He's got enough medals and world titles on his belt. He's trying his luck at I think he's getting the good fights, right? The one thing, Saparbek Safarov, come on, we should know him, right? The Vellante fight, probably my favorite fight of all time. Where your man gets kicked and he actually, like, bends down and goes, that's this man. So, that's who he beat in under 3 minutes via choke. And I got to tell you, the one thing I appreciated about that fight was Safarov landed a pretty good body shot. And I think that put Rodolfo a bit on his edge. He actually forced the takedown a bit more. So when you think about that, the guys were kind of feeling each other out, standing up a bit more. Once that body shot landed, I think Rodolfo put his foot on the gas and really, really pushed for that takedown. And I think Safarov showed good takedown defense with the first attempt, but the second attempt was a wun-ching, and he just kind of flew to the ground. And it was kind of like the moment he took the back, party done, bro. He locked that up so quick. It was elite.
Perfect. And yeah, so we'll be able to see if Anthony Hernandez is able to kind of hang with these ground skills for sure.
One thing I wanted to bring up with you, though, was if you dived a little bit further, did you see his Dana White Contender Series performance? He actually smashed on that one. But
oh, no, I did not see that one.
So it was actually against Jordan Wright. If you remember Jordan Wright, he knocked out Jordan Wright in under a minute. But guess what happened? As my boy Paisan likes to say, he failed his drug test due to a little
smoky
smoke. So,
oh, man. Fitting that it's a Friday, man.
Yeah. So funny enough, the man just, could have had a really nice, record showing event on Dana White's Contender Series. But unfortunately, that greenery gets the best of ya.
It's funny. I was scrolling through their records and I did see that no contest, but I did not see what it was for. So, good info right there, 100%.
But that's the best part, is you actually mentioned some of the grappling, right? 85% takedown defense. Those are little things. Like, if he can avoid getting taken down, I think he's actually going to try and have a fun fight. So, let's see what happens.
Yeah, where do you see the line landing on this one, man?
I just think Viera's going to be the favorite here. There's no point. You mentioned such good things, right? Like, Hernandez has these, weird things about him. LFA, title fight against your boy Brendan Allen. won that fight back in 2018. So like you can kind of go through his record and be like, hey, you're like one of those guys who could have done really well, except if maybe the Smoky Smoke didn't do what it did to you. I'm just kidding. But like, you know, there's reasons why people choose to smoke, right? And I just think in this guy's case, like we're seeing very real skill come out and play, you know, but unfortunately with like certain decisions like that, you're finding that for some reason, a guy like this who's shown this kind of skill, that Anaconda choke against Park, I mean, these are examples of elite skill, right? Yeah. And so I'm just wondering why we don't see that more often. But unfortunately, I think it's going to show in this line. I have to go Viera, and I'm actually going to give him minus 300.
Wow, he's actually a minus 400.
Wow, I had him at minus 350. Pies, save your arm strength. Let's move on.
Anything you want to touch on that one before we
No, I think you prefaced the fight fairly well for this one. I would say I think the only lapse is, and we talked about the grappling, and I just think that is such an uncharted territory for you. You know, like that's actually funny enough. You know me well enough about the fight game. When you're saying like, "What the is this?" I'm like, "Oh my god, guys, roll more, please! 5 rounds, roll more, please, roll more." Like that's why like this is that world, right? Like that's where this guy's coming from, and it's just a different world, you know. Like if he's able to expose that man, this man deserves to be the minus 400. But like I said, 85% takedown defense. We know the quality of opponent that he has faced so far, so take that with a grain of salt. So be very careful with how you bet. But an under here looks absolutely very, very telling. You know, I'm down with that one.
That can be juicy, and also looking at either of these men by submission might have some serious value on them. So when those extracurricular bets do come out, we'll be sure to glance at those and lock something in for you guys. That was a true treat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button if you haven't already done so. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff is down there. Give us a follow. Pics will be on there. Always a treat with you, Mr. Sukumar.
My man, Mr. Paisan.
We'll see you guys soon, man.
Peace.